can't change the past, but we can show people that the things that happened in the past were actually a lot nicer than they thought. And that's what I want to talk about today. If you enjoy this episode, if you enjoy the podcast, please take a moment to think about a friend who would enjoy this podcast so you can send them a little message and give them a reason to tune in. Let's begin.
This is a beautiful thought.
Welcome. With great love, with great respect, with all my heart. Welcome. I'd like to talk to you about rewriting the past. Of course, it's not, as far as I know, it's not literally possible to rewrite the past, but a lot of the time our perspective of things counts more than the things themselves. So changing our perspectives and other people's perspectives on the past, in a sense, is rewriting the past. There are a couple of things that I regret in my life, and it's normally two main things. The first thing is I wish I'd been more kind. There's a consistent trend or theme among my regrets. The other one is I wish I'd told people more how much I cared about them, how I truly felt about them. Many years ago, maybe 15 years ago or 13 years ago, I had this sort of relationship with a young lady. And perhaps I was very immature, and for that reason I put up a lot of barriers. I tried to play games because I wanted her to like me. I thought that was what was necessary. And in response, she also played a lot of games with me, and she did a lot of strange things which I didn't understand. I won't go into too much detail. But I cared for her. Even it didn't matter her flaws. That didn't matter to me. I liked her a lot. But because I was so wrapped up in playing games, I never told her. I didn't tell her then. Years later, actually, is a bit strange. I found out part of the reason of her unusual behavior is the fact that she had a degenerative brain disease, which never even occurred to me, which is a lesson in itself. It's like, you really never know what somebody is going through, and if their behavior maybe seems senseless or disrespectful or whatever, maybe there's a complete other reason that you have no idea about. It's not easy to withhold judgment from people, but it's something that we can always keep in mind. Anyway, many years later, just perhaps a year ago, I sent this young lady a message, and I told her, for whatever reason back then, I never knew how to express how I felt. But I always felt deeply for you. I always cared for you. And I hope things work out for you. I hope you find happiness. I hope you have health and peace in your life. Moreover, I hope whatever you go through is worth it. And yes, I care for you. I always cared for you. Maybe the next day she sent me a message back saying, I never knew. I never had any idea that you felt like that. So it was really interesting because I didn't realize that I had that kind of power, I could say. I didn't realize that I could go back in time in somebody's memories and change their whole perspective on things to create a past that's more loving, to show them that the world is a kinder place than they realized. You too have that power. Even if you never said how you felt in the moment, you can go back and tell yourself, and go back and tell others. Yeah, perhaps it's more important for yourself. Looking back through your own past and your own memories, and those times that you were confused, you didn't know how to make sense of situations, and you can show yourself that love in the past. Yes, you can rewrite the past and rewrite it with love, with big, bold, illuminated letters that show things are better than you thought, better than you expected, better than you could have hoped or imagined. Rewrite the past. Thank you for listening. Thank you for thinking beautifully. Thank you for showing yourself compassion and showing compassion to others and illustrating the wonder through your actions. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
A beautiful thought.
Thanks for coming along for the ride with me. Now remember, use a podcasting app like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Spotify, a whole range of podcast apps you can use to listen to this podcast. So please subscribe using one of those apps, and that way you can keep up to date and keep these bursts of positivity flowing through your system. Thank you, and have a great day.
Feel like this.